Hey everybody, it's an off day for the Giants, their first since April 10th. It was a very long stretch, 17 games in 17 days. It is something they will do just once this year, but they're actually one of 12 major league teams that has a schedule like that. I just think the difficult part for them going to New York with the weather there, Philadelphia, the weather there, the Phillies did them no favors by playing at a 4 o'clock getaway day game when they had to fly across the country to Anaheim. And then they come back home and it gets a little bit easier. Obviously, now they go to San Diego. They're in San Diego on the off day, a couple games there, and then they come back home. So the schedule gets a little bit easier, but that was a grueling stretch. And the Giants, I think the most important part of it, they come away 10 and 7. They come away in first place, but mostly 10 and 7 in a stretch like that is really impressive. And I think it showed us a lot. It showed everybody around baseball a lot about this team. I did write for our website, NBC Sports Bay Area today. I had 17 things we learned over 17 days. Some notes from the 17 games. I just wanted to touch on a few of them here that I thought were important or maybe went under the radar. There's all 17 on our website. You can go through and see all of those. One of them is just a video. You can probably guess which video from the 17 game stretch I included in there. It happened on Sunday, which was a little weird, but an incredible way to end a game. But anyway, I wanted to touch on some things here, starting with Matt Chapman, who is, depending on how you judge it, probably the best player on this team in most ways. I mean, he was last year, and he is a de facto kind of team captain, him and Logan Webb. I think Willie Adames will be in that mix as well. It's interesting seeing the three of them have a conversation one day during the stretch in the clubhouse, like kind of the three team leaders here. But Matt Chapman, we talk so much about his defense. What we don't talk about is the walks, and that is carried him offensively early on here. He did have a big home run a few days ago, dead center. That was a huge one. But the walks, I think, is something people haven't really noticed. He's reached base in 25 of 29 games. He reached base in 16 of the 17 games during the stretch. Played in all of them, obviously, started all of them. He occasionally will get like the ninth inning off, but he's just out there every single day. He headed to the off day tied for the major league lead with 26 walks, and he's doubled his walk rate year over year, more than doubled it, and he's just about double his career walk rate. So it's something new. You throw in the power, you throw in some of the big hits, and you throw in the defense. And I'm curious to see where this goes for him and whether I think one thing that's been maybe not noticed as much, he hasn't been an all-star since 2019. So feels like this might be a year for Matt, especially with the team playing good baseball. Those guys usually get rewarded. And obviously he's coming off a very good season, so he should get rewarded. A guy that I don't think we talk about very much on the podcast, on the pre and post game show. He's in that spot where you only get noticed if you struggle. But Spencer Bivens, he's kind of the long reliever since Hayden Birdsong is the, you know, super reliever, whatever you want to call whatever Hayden's doing. Spencer Bivens is the long man, and he pitched in those 17 games. He pitched five times, eight and a third innings, two hits, no runs. Three of them he gave Bob Melvin 6 outs. So that was clutch for a team that still has not made a move anywhere on their pitching staff with the rotation, with their bullpen. They made one move all year and haven't had to touch their pitching staff. And part of that is because Spencer Bivens has given them some pretty good innings. And the plus side of that is he's kept himself in the big leagues. Ordinarily, a year ago, 2 years ago, anytime in the last 5 years, if he threw two innings and then threw two innings a few days later, he would be optioned, and Sean Jelly would be called up, or Tristan Beck would be called up, or Carson Seymour, somebody. But Bivens has thrown well and he's been valuable, and they want continuity, and that has kept him in the big leagues. One I meant to a few days ago do a video like, is there a closer controversy? And then it ended literally before I wanted to give Ryan Walker a couple days, and he went out there and he looked like Ryan Walker. So no closer controversy, but Camilo Doval, he did get three saves over the last week. And I think it went a little bit under the radar what he did over these 17 games. Eight appearances, one hit, no runs, two walks, eight strikeouts. The command's there, the velocity is back up. He's comfortable in the ninth inning when he has to go back out there. If they ever need someone in the ninth, whether it's Walker struggles again or his back flares up or something else happens, Camilo is ready for it. Now, before all this, he gave up runs in three straight. So we know the Camilo experience, but he has been really, really good the last few weeks, and especially during the 17 game stretch was really valuable. Those are positives. A red flag, Giants are scoring some runs, 4.6 runs per game during these 17 games. Also had a 685 OPS. if you need some context, they were 701 last year. They were 695 the year before. So offensively, they're kind of where they've been the last couple years overall. Um, there's some guys who are really struggling. Not hard to figure out. Willie Adames is really struggling. Patrick Bailey is really struggling. Luis Matos has quietly had a really rough go. In the six starts he had during these 17 games, he had one hit. So it's been rough for him. They've been kind of carried by Jung Hoo Lee. They've been carried by Yaz. Matt Chapman's been involved. Elliot Ramos early. It's been slower for him of late. And then Wilmer Flores is RBIs. I mean, he leads the majors going into the off day. So it has hit a lot of the blemishes with this offense, you could say, whatever you want to call it. There's a red flag here, and I think if there's a concern for a team that is 19 and 10, it's that you pull one or two of these key guys out of the lineup, one of these guys who has been hitting early on, and it would get pretty ugly, I think, offensively. So they need some guys to step up here. Maybe the torpedo bats, those arrived over the weekend. Maybe those will help, but they need some guys to step up because there are too many guys with a batting average under 200, and too many outs in this lineup on a regular basis. The last thing here, just kind of a big picture view. Fangraphs does playoffs odds, which are always fun to look at the very least. Not always the most accurate because you can't be the most accurate, but I think it's fun to look at, and it shifts over time and it shows you where teams stand compared to others. I was fascinated to look today and see four teams in the National League West above 40% to make the postseason. So it tells you how good this division is and how good this division has been. The poor Colorado Rockies, they're just absolutely getting crushed. They haven't even really had to deal with the division as much as they will going forward. So it's been rough for them. But the Giants currently 58.6% according to Fangraphs to make the postseason. That is up from 48.9% 17 days ago. So you go 10 and 7 over 17 consecutive games. They've added about 10% to their playoff odds. The interesting thing for me is they're up to 10% to win the NL West. They were at 6.1% at the start of these 17 games. They were at 2.3% at the start of the season. So the numbers say they're in much better shape than they were, obviously. I mean, that's an obvious point. And I think beyond the numbers, you look at what's happening around the division. Blake Snell's hurt. Tyler Glasnow just got hurt. The Padres have like 11 guys on the injured list. They've missed some key bats. So there's an opening here for the Giants to not just be in first place, but maybe get some breathing room here. And they're going to need it at some point because they will have their injuries, they will have their issues down the line. But right now they're playing good baseball, and an opening here as they head to Petco Park to keep this going and improve those playoff odds a little bit.